Good morning, Nigeria. Three major stories you can't ignore. First, Mr. Peter Obi says he only needs 4 years to fix Nigeria. No second term, just 4 years of what he calls good governance with measurable results. But is that realistic, you might ask? Anyways, we'll find out. Next, former President Goodluck Jonathan is calling out governors who abandoned their predecessors' projects, saying it's a waste of public funds and a betrayal of the people. Are state leaders putting politics over progress? And in Cross River State, lawmakers are moving to ban housing agents accused of inflating rent prices beyond reason. With rents hitting over 1.5 million naira for a single room, is government finally stepping in to protect ordinary citizens, and should other states emulate this? Good morning and welcome to Morning Pulse, the pulse of Nigerian politics, right here on Active Citizens. My name is Sharon Enemchuku. Joining me in the studio, I have with me Ifeoma Oji and Mr. Daniel Sacramento. Good morning. How are we all doing?
Good morning.
Morning. How are you doing?
Surviving.
You can see that.
Yes,
joining us via Zoom, we have our analyst in person of Mr. Oladimiji Oluwafemi. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, sir.
All right, I think there's a technical glitch there, but as soon as you can hear us, please join the conversation. Now, we have established the stories and the headlines we'll be focusing on today, and we're starting first with Mr. Peter Obi's bold claim that he can fix Nigeria in 4 years, and you would see results that you can hold, tangible results within 4 years. And in fact, he does not need a second tenure for that. And I'm just going to start with this particular story and this particular statement from Mr. Peter Obi. With all of these things that Mr. Peter Obi has come out to claim, and from his past records, now, I'm starting with you, is this achievable in your own opinion?
You know, we've talked about this particular topic one time when he made this comment earlier, and I told you then that for the fact that he came out to say that he can achieve this in 4 years, he has equally come out again to tell you that he has what it takes, he has the competence, he has the capacity, you understand, he has the integrity to achieve this. The only thing I feel like we should be asking him at this point is, how is he planning on achieving that? The achievement, is he going to leave, the people of Nigeria with substandard infrastructures or anything like that? You understand? We just need to see his, his map, how he plans on achieving this. This is the only question I want to ask him. But if he said that he can achieve this, I think that maybe he should be given the chance, and maybe he should prove himself and let Nigerians see.
All right. Now, thank you very much for that, Ifeoma. I believe we have our analyst in person of Mr. Oladimiji Oluwafemi. Good morning, sir. Can you hear me now?
Good morning.
Welcome to the show, sir. Now, we've established the stories that we have, and we're starting with Mr. Peter Obi's statement and him saying that he can change the trajectory of Nigeria positively in just 4 years. And I just want to ask you, knowing that he's your principal, now, do you think that that is achievable? One, I know you would say yes, but I'm asking, what specific results should Nigerians be looking forward to when and if he becomes president?
Thank you very much, for that question, and I'm happy that I'm starting on that note this morning to discuss and espouse the doctrines and the principles of my principal, Peter, His Excellency Peter Obi. It is unfortunate that we have not gotten to this point in this country where we discuss governance based on a 4-year term as designed by democracy framers. All right? That is what we should be discussing. A 4-year term, a democratic term rather, is what is allotted to an elected officer to make impact. Now, if the framers of democracy do not think that you can do everything within 4 years, I'm sure that you would have, adjusted that principle of 4-year term since a long time ago. Now let's come to my principal. When my principal says he will do 4 years term and it's enough for him to do whatever he wants to do, he knows what to say. Now, look, my principal had always said that when you come into governance, and you are coming into governance without your wife, stealing, your family not stealing, you're not bringing any part of your family into governance to steal. You have solved your problem by, almost half. Now, secondly, when you look at our institutions, the reason why our institutions are decayed is because we do not have a leader with the will to do, integrate the principles in our institutions and make them formidable against men. Make them stronger than men. Okay. Now, what I believe that my principal will come to do is to fix these institutions. And look, when you fix institutions will work by default. Go to America today, and NBSR, forgive me, can run that government because all the institutions are on autopilot. They are working on their own. That's what we need to get to in this country, and that is why we need people will be, because it's what we need to do, and he will do it.
All right, fixing institutions is what we hope to see from Mr. P2B if he is elected president. Now, there is also another thing to worry about and to concern ourselves about with all of these big promises. We know that it takes more than the president to achieve all of this. You need to work with other parts and arms of government, other agencies, right? Especially state governors and all of that. But we have seen that the APC-led government is already controlling about 28 states in the nation. And when you look at these states, they are very loyal to their principal in person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. With Mr. P2B promising to rule 4 years and achieving all of his mandates within 4 years. If elected, Mr. Daniel, what about the battles that he would face from resistance and opposition parties like the APC?
Doing the 4 years might not be too visible for him to finish up maybe the good things he has at heart that he wants to do. And fighting battles is going to be a basic thing, because definitely if you're coming to revamp the anomalies in the society, definitely you need to fight. The people, the agencies, the institutions are going to fight back, because it's not that easy. Knowing fully well that corruption has really eaten deep into the fabric of our society. It has really, there's issues. So maybe he might be successful, or maybe it's not going to be that easy, but
there would be opposition.
There will be gang up. He's going to fight against president.
Are we going to say repetition of what happened during Jonathan-led administration?
Jonathan started wealthy when some of them, the institution, he started strengthening the institution where they weren't able to, gain the kind of access the corrupt politicians wanted. So they started fighting back. And definitely it's going to face that. It's not always as easy as you say it. I'm going to do 4 years. Fashola, when he came on board, said he's only doing 4 years in Lagos State. And he ended up doing 8. Fashola told us, we were there, said he's going to do 4 years. So
you're saying that the possibility this might not even happen?
No.
4 years term.
4 years term, to me, on a normal, like Mr. Oladmeji rightfully said, 4 years is a stipulated time given to every form of elective or political office. So if you do not achieve, now look at the magnitude of corruption that P2B is going to fight. If you look at the heaviness of what is going to fight, you will understand that 4 years might not, he might just wake up, sleep one night and wake up, is 4 years. Do you understand? Yeah. So the truth about it is that we would have looked at one of the things that made people to fight Jonathan was when he brought up a bill that was supposed to send to the House that every politician, every elective position, you only stay for 6 years and leave. Then it's going to take you another extra 10 years before you come back to vie for any position. That would have been best. It would have helped us have generational, raising politicians. But if you look at Nigeria right now, you find out that it is still the recycling of people who have been there since 1963.
Yeah.
1914, some of them are still alive, creating problems. They are still there, creating issues for us. So when people like Peter, who they have seen, they have a genuine intention to change the narratives, it's not going to be as easy as we think. There's going to be a lot of fights.
Opposition now.
Not even, if you're saying opposition, it's as if, definitely there is an opposition. But we are saying there's going to be terrible fight because, look at the level of House of Senate we have. So are you going to deal with this kind of people there? That you say is they will do that. Nigeria will not turn to Wike versus Fubara.
I want to ask questions, and I want to ask practical questions, but I want Mr. Oladimiji to help us as well. But I'm starting with Ifoma. There's something we just said now about institutions. We were looking at the Senate, presided over by Senator Akpabio. We are seeing the FCT Minister Wike. Hopefully, I don't know how they plan to do that when, or if Mr. Peter Obi becomes president, if he's going to continue as FCT Minister, we don't know. But there are a lot of other institutions and truly other systems that have been eaten deeply by corruption. Practically, in 4 years, do you think that Mr. Peter Obi can do away with those people in that particular system or those systems? And if you think he can't, is there a possibility that there is going to be a new Nigeria with the type of corruption that we already have? Is there a way you see him managing the corruption that we already have?
See, if he chose to fight corruption alone, then I think he can achieve his 4 years mandate. Let me say, for example, these ministers that we're talking about, the corruption that is entrenched in the Senate House, if he focuses on those people, I am telling you, at least we know that we have curbed, or we have, kind of entirely scrapped anything that has to do with, corruption in governance. You understand? And he mentioned, there was something he mentioned, when was it called, he was asked this question, he was interrogated, and they asked him about Peter Mbai in Enugu State, what was his take about defection and the rest of them, and he said that this is his political choice and not a coercion. You understand? He was not forced by that. So I just want to bring that to us. So he has actually come out to say that if you give me this chance, maybe he wants to work on insecurity. Maybe he wants to work on, scraping insecurity entirely in Nigeria. Maybe he wants to focus on maybe infrastructure. I don't know how he tends to achieve that. But I think with this, if he focuses on one, we are seeing a new Nigeria. There's possibilities for a new Nigeria. But if he gambles between, okay, I'm trying to fight corruption, I'm trying to fight insecurity. Okay,
he can't do everything at the same time.
Yes, he can't do everything at the same time. It will definitely stall. You understand? So I think maybe he should just choose one or two and focus on that in that 4 years.
All right, Ifoma. And I'm going to ask you, Mr. Oladimiji, the same question I asked. Now, practically, with the type of corruption that we have, is it possible for Mr. Peter Obi to sweep off corruption in 4 years? And if it is not, can he be able to bring about a new Nigeria with the already existing corruption that has eaten deep into our system?
Thank you, sir. I think we take our mind back to Colombia. Colombia had serious corruption entrenched in their system, governance system, so much that Pablo Escobar had, unfettered access to them and leverage upon them. Now, look, it is not plug and play. We understand and we can measure the level of the corruption that is deep into our fabric. But I understand it is not, I understand it is not plug and play. But one thing is important. Look, like we do say, it's not rocket science. It is about plugging your loopholes and be fiscally responsible. Look, all the problems we are facing right now is fiscal responsibility. I mean, from our leaders. Look, if you are fiscally responsible, if you are upright in what you're doing, and you have the political will to do, you're not going to present this policy on the table, and the first thing you are doing is to negotiate interest of political players.
All right.
That's not what you're going to do. You want to do something. First, be fiscally responsible. Don't go borrowing and sharing. And I'm sure that my principal will not do that. So if you can plug all of these areas, you would have gone a long way. And nobody is saying that you can complete all the job within 4 years. Because it's not a short term kind of magic.
Okay.
It is a systemic. Yeah. So you build it from the first step, and you build on the first step gradually like that. And that's why they say that governance will continue. And that will come after him would must be able to take off from where he stopped so that we can ground this institution in serious formidable strength against powerful men in this place.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Oladimiji. Now, what I'm hearing is fiscal responsibility and continuous good governance, even after he must have been done with his 4-year term. Now, talking about this continuity that we see in political offices, there's something that former President Goodluck Jonathan, which is actually the second story, came out to complain about. He said, according to him, that it's the fact that political office holders, or now in this case governors, do not complete the project started by their predecessor. And he complained about that, and during his time as Bayelsa State Governor, there were some projects that he started, which is getting or building hospital or hotels in the state as a result of bringing tourism to the state and bringing a lot of attention to that state in the area of hospitality. Now, he said that for other administrations that came after him, they left that project unfinished. Now, with what we're seeing now, and linking it to what you have said about continuous good governance or continuous projects, Mr. Daniel, why do we see a high level of uncompleted projects with current administration not completing that of their predecessor?
It is part of the corruption failed system we are talking about. Now, it's not just that you're talking about predecessor. You're talking about a party affair.
It's not just predecessor.
It's not just being a predecessor. A lot of them are from the same party. You understand? But they still abandon those projects, so that he will not be giving glory.
Oh, now, so it's about ego.
It's about ego. It's about who takes the glory. Now, it is not about the people. So that is why all the governors in Nigeria need to be reoriented, because a lot of them has no orientation. A lot of them are just merchant people who are fortunate to be on the seat. Now you are leaving a massive project like a hospital, knowing a hospital. Let's take for instance a hospital being built, and you abandon it. You understand? Just because you might not, you are having just because you are having a riff with your successor or the person, yes, your successor or the predecessor. You're having riff with the predecessor. Now you don't want to go there. You abandon the project to decay. Now you now go and start a fresh hospital altogether, just for you to
get the credits.
Get the credit. One. Secondly, they use it to we call it balance sheet, to balance, so that EFCC will not come after them. They will now quickly build skeletal projects and leave it for the person that will be taking over their successor. So if you like beautiful, then when they go, they will now table, EFCC will now say, we are charging you for 10 billion. I say, I used it to build this and do that.
I see
so, yeah, these are the part of the things. Let me tell you, we have a failed system. We have no system in this country. And that is why when P2B is saying 4 years, I wonder where he's going to be starting it from. You understand?
I say he should focus.
Except, like you rightly said, he has to pick 1 or 2 or 3. Focus on it, because the corruption we have, it has eaten deep into even straight to civil service.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
contractors.
So, contractors is just, those ones are business people. You can easily deal with those ones. Dealing with them is as easy as ABCD. Because if you don't give them money, they will not function. Do you understand? But what we are saying is that a system whereby a corporal can have power to sack a commissioner. Do you understand that adage? A corporal has power to sack a commissioner of police. You could understand how many years going to take a corporal to get to a commissioner of police. But he has that such power. So how do you balance this?
Okay.
So you understand? So the truth about it is that what Jonathan is saying is that a lot of things, we need to go to the constitution. We need men of integrity. We need people who want the well-being of the nation, not people who want to come and enrich themselves
and their pockets.
That
okay, Mr. Daniel. And Ifeoma, now, with what we're seeing now, it is so obvious that this is evidence with our government in Nigeria. But are there any laws, because we're talking constitution now, are there any laws, constitutionally backed laws, that we can introduce that would prevent people, especially political office holders, from leaving the projects of their predecessors and starting a fresh one? Because you know why I mentioned contractors to Mr. Daniel is because of what the former president said. He said that there were some contractors that they loaned 10-15 million naira to start their hotel projects, and when he left office, nobody said anything about it. So that 10-15 million naira just went into thin air. They did not bring back that money. They did not do what they were supposed to do. Nothing at all. Now, so both contractors, both the political office holders, maybe the governors or what have you, what laws do you think that we can bring in order to keep them in check now?
Okay, first of all, I am not a lawyer. That's number one. But if I am to make comments on this, I think this is a huge problem that seriously you need to pay keen attention to. He raised a very important issue, and according to him, he said that had it been that, I'm talking about good law, had it been that those projects were completed, that it could attract investors, that people could actually get, local revenues from such projects, and it will increase, productivity and even create more jobs for the people of Bayelsa. But because the new government came in, they abandoned the project completely, starting a fresh project. And I wanted to make comments. I wanted to add something to what Mr. Sacramento said earlier. I think one of the reasons why this set of persons kind of stall existing projects, apart from the fact that they want to take credit for new projects, I feel like there might not be enough funds in the purse for them to carry out complete those projects, because those projects might actually be bigger projects, you understand. So there might not be enough money left in the purse to fund it. That's number one. And then number two, I feel like maybe if they should write a letter to the federal government to allocate more money to that, the federal government might not allot money to them for them to complete such projects. And not just that, I still feel that maybe, it's not even maybe, the new, I'm coming to what you asked, the old administration. No, you have to just wrap it quickly. Yes, the old administration, I feel like when new government comes in, they tend to, bring their new administration, scrape up the old one. Now, in response to what you said earlier, I think that continuity should be institutionalized. You understand? There should be checks and balances. If you are leaving a government office, publish what you have achieved so far, publish the things that you're yet to achieve, and then there should be laws that will ensure and monitor that those new projects are being accomplished before the new government brings.
Thank you very much, Ifeoma. Thank you for your contribution. And to be honest, we've seen a lot of times when people start, or political office holders, governors start projects, and they don't see it to the finish when there are new governments that come into power. Now, there are a lot of things that might cause this: ego, money, funding, and all of that. But we hope that going forward, that there can be a sort of harmony between the preceding or the successive governments. Now, we have to also talk about what's happening in Cross River State. And to be honest, not just Cross River State, it's just that Cross River is doing something about this. And it is the issue about the rent hikes and agents just increasing rents stupidly, to be honest. And I'm just going to say big kudos to Cross River for this initiative to put a ban to house agents. But I'm starting with Mr. Oladimeji now. Do you think that them banning agents will actually stop the problem of increased rent hike? Or is this going to just be, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, thank you, Sharon, for that question again. I think it's a good move. It's a good one. I've been talking about this agency mainly for a very long time. And this is a good call by the Cross River government. However, one thing that I know that is that constantly and frequently at play is that there is always connivance between the landlords and the agents. All right. So whatever it is always shared between the landlord and the agent. So what I'm thinking, is that to keep this policy of theirs afloat, they need to, find a way to regularize it in a way that the landlords don't, share this weight on the rent. What I mean is by further increasing the rents of tenants or by loading the initial rent when you are coming in with what the agent is supposed to collect and eventually they get. Because there's an argument for this agency thing. They say that they have association, they can deal with tenant situations because they have a body. Landlords don't have a body. When they have problems, they will need a body that can assist them. But I think that's backlash. So fact remains that this state who had come up with this beautiful policy should intensify on it, and I recommend that other states, particularly Lagos State, it is the Abuja from this policy.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Oladimeji, for also including your recommendation. Mr. Daniel, what are your thoughts and also your recommendation?
Okay, there's a lot of controversies surrounding the hike in rent and why agents behave how they do. I'm going to take it round. One, like Mr. Oladimeji rightfully said, the landlords and agents are 5 and 6. They know all this, including the developer. We have to add developer because I've been a victim of it. Yes. Then, when government increases tenement rates for landlords, there's going to be a high, it's the tenants that are going to pay it. We have to understand that. So that is what encourages the agents, because landlord will tell them, I want so amount. Then they will include theirs in it. You get where I'm going to. Now, if there are low-cost housings, these things, I'm not providing solutions. These things will drop.
Okay, low-cost housing.
Low-cost houses from the state governors and the federal government. Housing scheme, Abuja does housing scheme for workers. You buy outright, and they take it from your salaries. It's there. Now, the madness in housing, the hike in housing, agencies, everybody will go and look for what to do.
Okay.
Now, that's one. So, another thing is that it's a welcome development for Cross River because it is madness. Now, I want to even let you know that it's not Cross River that started it. Ebonyi State government started it a month ago.
Impressive.
Yes, started it. In fact, theirs has been passed into law and it has come into effect. No more house agents. They don't want it anymore because you can imagine a little Ebonyi State, how big Ebonyi is, and you see how much house rents are there. So all this is, it's something that the state government needs to step into to stop it. In a room self-contained just yesterday, in Anambra State, just yesterday, somebody called and was telling me they were asking him to bring 1.1 million.
Yeah.
So you could imagine how much a 3-bedroom flat would be.
Yeah.
There is one I had is 3.5 million. I wonder how much the person's minimum wage is. So a lot of things needs to change, and the government has to sit down. This thing boils down to government. Reduce the prices of tenement rate. Build low-cost housing, because when the civil servants have low-cost houses, the landlord will not see anybody that's living in his house.
Exactly.
You understand? Everything will come to normalcy.
Right.
And you say have the right to say, this so place, this is the rent that they will be collecting there, and you stand with it.
All right. Now, for the government to come together and make that decision to provide low-cost housing, now, if I your recommendations in 1 minute.
Okay, this housing thing. I remember one time that I was house hunting, and one man told me that if I have 1 million right now, that he will get me self-con. And I'm like, 1 million? Where am I going to get 1 million from? And he said that is 1 million to pay 700,000, a whooping 300,000 on top of the normal rent. I'm like, how? He said it's for agency, and I'm like, I think these people are going mad. They are going crazy at this point. How can somebody just wake up in the morning and tell you that he's an agent? How will you tell me that a house that a landlord erected and put the price for 500,000 naira, you will see agents collecting 1 million? Why? If I'm to recommend anything, I don't even want to say too much because I think we've run out of time. But if I'm to recommend anything, I think they shouldn't be banned completely, because these landlords still need the help of the agents to, position their markets or their buildings for people to see. It's not everybody that have the luxury of time to travel the streets and go and look for houses. So we still need these agents at the end of the day. The only thing I feel, just like Mr. Oladimeji and Mr. Sacramento said, is that the government should liaise with these agents and the landlords to regulate the amount, the charges for this house rent, so that it will not be too outrageous for people to afford, because how much do people earn to pay such amount of money?
With the minimum wage in Nigeria just across 70,000 naira, it is ridiculous to put a house rent for over 1 million plus and expect civil servants to pay this. Apart from the fact that it is ridiculous, it is also going to encourage crimes, because the people that you're going to have as tenants are going to be Yahoo boys and Yahoo girls. But anyways, thank you so much for your contribution, Mr. Daniel Sacramento, Ifoma Oji, and my analyst all the way from Lagos, Mr. Oladimeji Oluwafemi. And to our viewers, we thank you for your contribution so far, for your likes and your shares. If you're yet to follow us across all social media platforms, please endeavor to do so. Find us at Active Citizens. You can find me on my Instagram and Facebook at Sharon Enemchuku. And you?
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Miselect.
Mr. Oladimeji.
I'm always the next pilot Oladimeji.
All right. And Mr. Daniel will always be in the studio. Till we see you this afternoon for As E Day Hot. Do have a good morning.